Okay, here's a little video on the Amazon 4K Fire TV Stick. Wonderful little device. These are the basic parts of the device. Okay, on the far left is a 3-foot HDMI extension cable, which I highly recommend. You have to buy that separately. It's about $4 or $5, but it keeps the stick away from the back of the TV. It helps with interference and heat. Next is the actual stick itself. This is what attaches to your TV and what makes all the magic. Then is a remote, and the remote is a much more advanced remote than the previous versions. It has equipment control, so you can power your TV on and off, and you can raise and lower the volume as well as the actual Fire Stick functions. On the right is the little HDMI extender that comes with the Fire Stick. Okay, so I'm going to pick up the remote because I already have one attached. And I'm going to come over here to the TV. Here's the remote. Now some of the buttons. This is your Alexa button. You hold that down and you can talk to it. Power button. This is your navigation wheel. Up, right, left, right, up, down, left, right for navigation. The center is your enter or select button. The back button will bring you back a screen. The home button brings you to the Amazon Fire Stick TV home screen. This little button here is a context-sensitive menu. You have a fast rewind, a fast forward, and a play button. Then you have your up and down volume buttons, and even a mute button. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and turn this TV on. And this TV is set up with this Fire Stick. And this should come right up to the Fire TV home screen. Okay, that's the Fire Stick TV normal home screen. And you can use that. You can navigate around that. You can go up to the top where you can see the different areas here. And you get your settings there. And the two lines here, this is your recent apps. As you open apps, they'll go on the recent line. The second line is all of your apps. These are all of the apps that are installed on this Fire Stick. It goes in a scrolling line. And then at the very end, you can see all apps. But to be honest, I prefer what's called a custom home screen or a custom launcher, and the one that I use is called App Starter. And normally, if the Fire Stick is off, it'll boot up to that. But if you just have your TV on and you get to the Amazon home screen, just one click, and that brings you to this nice simplified screen where all the important apps are. Now, as far as streaming, there are two types of apps. There are what are called video on demand apps, which lets you search for and play any movie and any TV show for free. They're pretty great apps, and the ones that I have on here, I'll go over little by little. Titanium is one of my favorites. Morph is great. Cyberflix, Cinema, come down to the second row, BTV. There's many of these apps around. These are the 5 that I prefer. The other type of app is what is called live TV or IPTV. It's Internet Protocol Television. Normally the TV that you watch is either through an antenna or a satellite dish or cable. IPTV is internet supplied by the internet, which means these apps just go find where things are airing. Everything these days is, driven or just distributed over the air. So these apps just let you get to them easier, and these are not free, but it's very cheap. This is a service that I have. It's called Sweets TV Time. And if we go into that, we'll see it'll load up. And you have categories. You have live TV, and the only ones that really work on this are live TV and the guide. The guide is like your guide on your cable company. The live TV are just all the channels. If I go into live TV, it has to each time load up a little bit. Sometimes it'll take longer, sometimes shorter. And you will see all different categories on here. Now, how I'm navigating here, I'm just using the remote. I'm going down, and then I'm going to the right to across to USA channels. If I go into USA channels, you'll see all common channels here. And when I say all channels, I mean all. That's a little loud, so let's use the volume control and make that a little lower so we can watch this. And when I say all channels, I mean all channels. And that includes things like all the movie channels. Let's go find Cinemax. Here's Cinemax. If I hit Cinemax, go into Cinemax, I can see what's playing on Cinemax. Okay, right now I'm not seeing the guide, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back, and I'm going to go all the way up to the very top here, and I'm going to refresh the TV guide. If I refresh the TV guide, that should bring up what looks like a TV guide, so we can actually see the shows that are playing. And this takes a minute or two sometimes. Usually you do this maybe once a week or once every couple of days. If you see that the guide is not loading, you can do it, and that should bring the guide up as well. And now it's inserting the TV guide, and it should be there. Let's go back to live for now. Okay, go back to live. Whoops, I didn't want to do that. Go back to live. I went into settings actually. Go back to live and come back to USA channels, and let's go back down to Cinemax. And if you notice, the guide should be coming up on here. I don't know why it's not. That's not good. Oh, there it is. Okay. So Cinemax Each Reversal of Fortune is on. It comes up on the little screen on the right. If I want to see it full screen, press the center select button, and then it will come up in the main screen. Okay. Now, if you like Cinemax and you want to save that, you can hold down the middle select button and add to favorite, and that'll put it on a favorites list. And if we keep going down, we have CNN. Let's choose that as a favorite. And you can just keep going. There's all kinds of channels here. HBO is in here, ESPN, millions and millions of channels. Okay. You also have, go down, we have Canadian channels, UK channels, and then we have some of the sports channels as well. We have MLB, and that'll tell you the baseball games. You have the NFL ticket in football season, ESPN, all kinds of stuff. Okay, and you have to just kind of play around. If we come back out of here now and actually go into the guide, and even though we just did that from the other screen, it's going to have to do it on this one as well. It just takes a couple seconds, really. Okay, now if you notice on this screen, it'll have my favorites on here. So if I just go to favorites, I'll only see the channels that I chose, and it has what's playing on them. Okay, I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on this because you have to just play around and go through it and set your own favorites. Let's go. I'm hitting the back button to get all the way back. Now let's look at some of these what are called VOD or video on demand apps. This one's called Titanium. It's one of my favorites. And it comes up in different categories. This is right now in the TV category, and it's showing the shows that are trending. You can change if you navigate. Again, I'm using the remote to navigate to the left. So the three little dots on top here, you can change the categories to, you can change the content to movies. Now you will see some movies on here that you won't be able to get right away because this is pulling information from the Internet Movie Database. So even though The Lion King is released in theaters, it is not released digitally. They can't really be on these apps till they're released digitally, unless they're what are called camera versions, which are pretty crappy versions. Let's go back to TV shows for now. And let's just look at a popular show, The Handmaid's Tale. Actually, let's look at some of the categories. These are the categories that you can choose from. Now, you see where you see Netflix and Hulu? That'll show you, it's not Netflix, but it's all the shows that are on Netflix and Hulu. Again, free. Okay. Oops, I went back. Let's go to Handmaid's Tale. This is a very popular show that is currently in season 3. Again, I'm navigating with the buttons. And actually today a new episode is out, but let's look at last week's episode. If you navigate to the play button, play, and it will start finding sources. And sometimes it takes a little while, sometimes it's pretty quick. Some of the apps will let you set it to autoplay, so it'll search for the best source. Some of them, like this one, it'll just show them. I usually try the first one, and if that doesn't work, you can try another one, but a lot of these shows it'll start right away. This one seems to be not starting right away, of course, because I'm doing this video. Oh, here it comes. Okay. And there's The Handmaid's Tale of the episode that just aired. Okay. Okay, we can go back from there. Let's go back from there and go back. And here you can also save favorites. So if Handmaid's Tale is something you want to see all the time, again, you can just go down to where the seasons are and navigate up to where this little star is. Okay, now that's a favorite. So if you go to here and you go look at your favorites, your shows will be in there. Okay? Now I'm going to keep hitting the back button. Most of these work the same way. Morph is a little bit different. It doesn't support two services which enhance the links that you get, called Real-to-Brid. Real-to-Brid is not free. It is about $18 for 6 months, but it's worth it. I don't have it set up on this one. Cyberflix is another app. Cinema is another app. And B is another app. Now these other apps that I have on here, FileLink lets you download additional apps, and I just leave it on the main screen because, same with Downloader. Fire TV will just bring you back to the main home screen. Again, I happen to like the App Starter screen because it's just easier. Now there's a lot more to get into. This is just a very basic preliminary introduction into streaming between live TV and video on demand applications. Pretty much anything you want to watch you can find on these apps. Okay, just take a look at Morph TV because it's just a little bit different format. Okay, let's go back. Let's look at movies on this, and it'll show you the popular movies. Okay, and a lot of these some of them are older, some of them are newer. And what Morph does, I have this Morph set to find the best link, so this might take a little bit longer because it's actually going to search through all the links and wait till it finds the best one possible for your internet, your viewing, whatever, and then it'll actually just start playing it right from the start. So this takes a little bit longer because you're not actually seeing it as it's loading the links, but it's really scouring the internet to find the best possible link. So let's see, let's give this another minute or so, and it should just hit on something that it finds the best and start playing it. Up, now it's starting playback. There it goes. So it took maybe about a minute. It's loading it up, and it should start playing it very shortly. And there it goes. It's starting to play. Now you could also, the other things on this remote, I'm going to hit fast forward. And bring it a little bit into the movie. And hit the select button and you'll see it's actually in the movie itself. Okay. I want to get out of it. I hit back. And if you notice, I went too quick, but it also showed you the different links that it found. And so if you don't like the one it chose, you can pick another one. Again, I'm going to go back. Now, the one thing with this app, if you want to save favorites, you have to have what is called a tracked account. TRAKT.TV. And it is a free service that lets you sign up and keep track of the shows that you're watching. On this particular app, to save favorites, you have to have that. On the other ones, you don't. Alright, I'm going to go back again. And then we are back to our main home screen. Again, there's so much more. I'm just scratching the surface just to give you a basic idea of what's available on these wonderful little Fire Sticks. They just came off Prime sales. They were $25. It's just really remarkable. This is the Fire Stick 4K. You do not have to have a 4K TV to use the wonderful processes of the 4K Fire Stick. I do not own a 4K TV. I don't need a 4K TV. But the 4K Fire Stick is the most advanced one. It has the equipment control. It has the volume, power on, power off. It has a better Wi-Fi antenna. It gets very good Wi-Fi speeds. And it has better heat sealing on the device. Here's the actual connection. Notice you have your HDMI connection. I have a cable to the back of the TV for your HDMI and a power. It's a micro USB power jack, and that's connected to the TV. The other advantage of using these extension cords are you have the stick right in front of you should you want to move it or unplug it. You don't have to deal with the back of the TV. Okay, that's just a little preview of the wonder of 4K Fire Stick TVs. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye bye.